Hello, welcome back to Rigor Knits, where I talk about all things knitting on my channel. And today I have another little vlog just catching up on some of my finished objects, some of my whips, and some of my acquisitions as well. Um, Before we get into it, I have only one finished object, and it is a pair of socks. So I have been so sidetracked with I don't know how many different whips that I just have not managed to get finished. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting whip section, but the finished objects is very much lacking. So please, no judgments. There's a lot going on with me at the minute. And this is Rigor, if anybody doesn't know. Say hello, Rigor. He's sniffing all the yarn I have sitting in front of me that you cannot see. Oh, good boy. Is that interesting? I may have to keep like clipping my microphone onto my top. Hopefully the changes in audio aren't too crazy. I've got to get my hair out of the way as well. Okay, so my first finished object is my Chilton socks. Ooh, 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 ooh. These are by Midsummer Knits, and I did these as part of the knit along that she was hosting. So there was two knit alongs. There was like a paid one for like beginners that had a lot of tutorials and things, and then there was a free one for more experienced sock knitters. Which, if you've watched any of my videos, you know how many socks I've knit. So, yeah, I just did the free one. I'll just show you a little bit closer what these socks are looking like. I actually haven't worn these yet. I did block them, but I've tried them on but I haven't like worn them for like a day yet. So anyway, let's get into a little bit about these socks. The yarn that I used was Yarnsmith's Kid Mohair Silk and also Yarnsmith's Merino Sock Superwash, both in the colorway of white. And you hold a strand of each of those together whenever you knit these socks. My needle was a 2.5 millimeter needle, which is not what I usually use for socks, but um, this is actually 4 stitches less than my usual sock stitch count, so the fit is absolutely perfect. And I did the size too. So these come at the minute they come in 3 sizes, but I know she is doing a mini like bag charm version, which will be very cute. But yeah, size 2, which was I want to say an 8-inch circumference because that's what my feet are. It could have been like 8.5, or sorry, 8.25 inch circumference or something. But yeah, something like that anyway. So yeah, a little bit about these socks then. Huge, big ruffle. So you actually start with quadruple the amount of stitches. I could probably hold my microphone now. You start with quadruple the amount of stitches than you're going to have for like the whole rest of the pattern, and you do rapid decreases, and then you do like a fold over. There's like a turning situation. At one point you are knitting inside out and then you do a turn. You fold it over and you knit it down, and then you go into like your cable pattern. Yeah, it was really hard to do the ruffle. It was very, very fiddly. I won't lie. I have done ruffles before, but not like this. It was super duper fiddly. But I did it. I did it twice. And then yeah, you go into the cables, which the pattern is so straightforward for that. Very well explained. And then you split for the heel, and you do a little. Can you even see that? It's not really focusing. It's like one of those slip stitch heels. So you I can't remember if you're knitting or purl. I think you purl every other row, and then the row in between you knit one and slip one. I think that's what it was. And the heel is actually quite short compared to what I would usually do. I usually do quite a bit of a longer heel, but this is a specific amount of rows rather than a size. So I actually don't know how long the heel is. I haven't measured it. And then yeah, you go into the rest of the foot, and you can see, if I can show you, you can see the cable. You can, oh my god, my fingers. You can see the cable kind of like splits off into two, and then like this cable down the side, I mean right at the like corner um where your stitches are split in half to do the heel flap. yeah, splits into two, and then after that you only have two cables, these two front ones that carry on down the foot, and then the rest of it is just like pearls and knit stitches, and then just all knit stitches for the bottom of it. So yeah, especially once you get past the heel, it is super easy. I do there's like some explanations about having needle one and needle two, which was quite confusing, but you know, I always do the heel whenever I'm doing like a heel flap. I always do it on a long set of sock needles, so like 80 centimeter long needles, so then they are split between needle one and needle two, or needle one and the cable if it's on hold. Yeah, it was a little bit confusing with having to like move like 6 stitches around, but it does make sense. Like if you just stick with it, it makes sense, and you can see the reason why she's done that. It's so that everything is lined up the way it should, so the cables are like, you know, in the middle. Um, but yeah, I did it. Anatomical toe as well, which I had said in a video. Oh, I'm pretty sure I do anatomical toe, but no, I don't. Anatomical toe means you are doing extra decreases on the toe side of each foot, so there is a left and a right sock. Um, this one here, this is the left sock. You can see down this side. Sorry, I have one. I was testing a nail polish. Down this side here is yeah, a lot more like severe decreases than this side. So this is my left sock. And one other little thing to note about this pattern, I have gotten into a really bad habit of just knitting, and being like, I know the pattern, and just keeping on going. So I accidentally ended up with one sock bigger than the other, because what I had done, I actually can't tell by my eye which one it is. But for my second sock, first sock, perfect, did it all absolutely fine. So the second sock, I was like, I counted. So obviously I wanted the leg to be the same length. So I had counted the amount of like cable twists here, and it was like 11. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll do 11 cable twists. What I didn't realize, and I'm not sure. Sorry, I just ate an apple, and apples always make me really burpy. Anyway, I'm not sure if it is just for the size 2 or for all sizes, but the setup round right before the heel involves another cable twist. So just be wary, just double check your setup round for the heel. If it contains that extra cable row, then do one less repeat before you're getting ready for the heel. And same with the toe. You actually finish the toe after a cable twist, which I think was row 2 or round 2. Sorry, I always say row when I mean round. Round 2 of a 4 round repeat. But for my second sock, I knit to round 4, which was like 2 more rounds of just like knitting like normal without a cable needle, not doing any twists. And then you go into the toe. But yeah, that was incorrect. So one sock is just 2 rows longer on the foot, 2 rounds longer on the foot, and 4 rounds longer on the like leg than the other. So it's a bit annoying. I am a bit of a perfectionist with my knitting. I really hate whenever there's mistakes. I feel like that's all I look at. So yeah, a bit annoying, but at the end of the day, they're socks and they still fit. And I'm going to be wearing shoes over them. So yeah. Anyway, my one and only finished object. Let's get into the whips. The amount of whips before me here on the bed that you can't see, this is Ruger, not a whip, you can see him a little bit, is overwhelming. So let's get into it. I need to clip my microphone again. Last time I talked about this whip, it very much was a whip, and I had ripped it all the way back, and sorry, it's been balled up in a little project bag. It's I ripped it all the way back and decided I was going to redo it, and I have redone it, and it is perfect now. Let me put it on. This, if anybody didn't see my last video, or maybe a couple of videos before that, oh my god, I was at training yesterday and I can feel it. I can barely move. This is my Victoria cardigan. Let me put it on. Sorry, I need like a proper microphone that I can hold, or like even better, a boom mic. Oh, that'd be so much better. Anyway, let me put her on. Still a whip because I have not attached any of the buttons. These, what do you call it? These stitch markers are where the buttonholes are, and I have not put the buttons on. I have them, I just haven't bothered doing that yet. And I need to weave in the ends. And also the final thing I need to do is look up a lace pattern and like attach a bit of lace work up here, because how's it going to be my Victoria cardigan if it doesn't have a cool little Victorian frill? Anyway, so yes, this is a self-drafted pattern that I would love to release a pattern for so other people could knit it, but I don't know how to size grade anything. I know I could pay somebody to do that, but right now I'm insanely busy, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So yeah, this is maybe not something that'll see the light of day for a year or two potentially, but anyway, I am happy with it. So yeah, basically this is a raglan cardigan. It has a little tall neck situation going on here, and it's very form fitting. The sleeves do not have any decreases or increases. They just go straight down, and then they end with a little picot edge border, which I think is very, very cute. Um, yeah, I'm basically envisioning me having the buttons on this finally and just wearing it buttoned up all the time. I don't even know if you can see the very bottom, but let me try and show. It is just, sorry, excuse my yoga mom leggings. um, it is just rib at the bottom for a couple of centimeters. I did not go down a needle size for the ribbing. Well, I did for the neck actually. So this is done in 3mm up here for the neck, and then 3.5mm needles for the rest of the body and the ribbing at the end. Also, the yarn, I never even said, this is Sandnesgarn Peer Gent in the colour 1088. Very, very thick yarn, and because you're knitting it, I don't know if you can hear this. That's my dog digging on the bed behind me. Yeah, quite a thick yarn. I think it's DK weight potentially. 3.5mm needles. It's a dense fabric. Yeah, there's like no like air gets through it, or air. Sorry, well, air. Yes, no air gets through it when you wear it, but there's no light gets through it whenever you hold it up to a window or anything like that. So yeah, very dense, very warm, very winter. Given it's May right now, not the perfect time to finish this, but I think I did start this cardigan in October 2025. It will see its day come like September next year, because that's when all my current knitting plans should be finished by, is around about September. Then I can maybe actually wear my little baby and think about doing lace and actually finishing it. So yeah, this might be the last time you see this for a little minute until I properly finish it, but I think it's so cute. I'm so happy with it, and I feel like it is very me. Yeah, just looks gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And I think it will look really nice when it's all tight. Yes. Anyway, let me take her off. Actually, will I wear her for the rest of the video? I might. Okay, yeah, let's get a little bit of wear out of her. My next whip then. Some of you may know what this is already by me just holding this up. This is the Moby Sweater Man by Petite Knit. I'm knitting this in the size large. I'm knitting it for my husband for his 30th birthday, which is in September. I do think I jumped the gun a little bit on casting this on so early, but the last time I knit this, and it was Moby Sweater Man in the size large, it took me 6 months. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pick this up again and blast it out. But just wait to hear the rest of the whips I gotta talk about today. I don't know actually. Oh god, I don't know what I'm gonna do. very stressful. Moving on. I am knitting this in the recommended needle size, which is a 4 millimeter needle, which is very rare for me. I usually have to size down 1 or 2 needles. Um, so yeah, that's cool. And as you can tell, blasted through it. I don't think I've knit on this for very long at all, but obviously I know how it all goes. It's not complicated for me. Sounds like I'm gloating. I have knit this pattern twice now. Yeah, I think it's just twice. Feels like it's more than that. I've knit it twice, and yeah, I know what the crack is with this. Um, so yeah, it is going by nice and quick for me. The yarn then, I am knitting this in the recommended yarn, which is Sannisgarn Peer Gent in the color 1032 light grey melange. I actually bought 16 balls of this for this pattern, which is insane. Really puts things into perspective how much like labor time, how many labor hours are going to go into this. But yeah, it'll be so worth it. It's time for hubby Ben. I actually hate the word hubby sometimes. Hubby Ben to join the Moby Sweater family. I have one, my brother has one, my mum's fiance has one. Mum doesn't have one. She needs to knit herself one. Or I could knit her one. No, she can do it herself. She has the pattern. Yeah, he's got to join the family. So yeah, obviously I'm not that far through this. This is the back like yoke. I have knit it to the length. Obviously you can see this is going to be the back shoulder like slope. This will be like an armhole, and I've knit it to the length where you're supposed to stop, and then I think you pick up stitches down the shoulders and start doing like the front. Not going to do that for a little bit, but yeah, not like haven't knit that much of it. Not much to say about the pattern. Um, Other than I've knit it a couple of times. Would definitely recommend to stick with a nice wool yarn for this. I did one in cotton and I hate it. So yeah, I do think Peer Gynt is a really good choice for this one. My mum did hers in Drops. Is it called Drops Lima? That's it, and it turned out really well as well. I think the gauge and everything was fine. So those are two options if anybody's keen to knit this. But yeah, lovely chunky cables. Not the most complicated cable pattern ever, and you only need the needle for these. The cable needle, sorry, for these chunky cables here and here, and then there'll be two more on the front panel. And then these little crossover parts, you just do that by doing funny little crossover stitches. So yeah, this is a lovely impressive pattern for but not that complicated. Like it'll impress non-knitters, and to be fair, it would impress me until I started a pattern I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Looks impressive. Rate the pattern, rate the yarn, rate the fit. Love petite knit. I'm a petite knit supporter. Anyway, let's move on to the next one because I don't have anything else to say about this. My next one, oh god, I thought I lost a needle. It's something really cute. What do you see this? Let me unroll it a little bit. Can you tell what it is? You're thinking trousers? No. It's actually a pair of dungarees. Baby dungarees. So this, I don't know what is going on. Why it's like all rolled up. I need to properly block it later. This is my mini romper Mila, by Janina from Mash and Minis. I'm knitting this in Drops Merino Extra Fine in the color Blush, which is this lovely kind of rusty color. You knit it with one single strand, and I think it only takes for the size 6 to 9 months, which is what I'm knitting. It only takes like 3 balls, but I have ordered 4 just in case because it was cutting it quite fine. With the amount of yarn you would have left over at the end of the last ball, so I did order 4. So yeah, really really cute. Starts off at the bottom here. You cast on one of the legs you do ribbing, you knit up. I can't remember if there's increases. Yeah, there's increases up by like the tops of the legs at the hips. And then you join them together. There's a little hole here that needs to be seamed up at the end, but apparently that's the only seaming to be done in the whole pattern. And then I haven't read further ahead in the pattern, but I assume I'm just going to split, do the front, do the back, do the strap separately, and then you go back and add some ruffles in, which is going to be so, so cute. Um, I am knitting this on 3mm needles for the ribbing and then 3.5mm for the rest. And yeah, because it's like quite a thick yarn, it's working up very fast. How cute are these? So I'm knitting these for a friend who is due to give birth. I think it's like the first week of June, second week of June. Yeah, I want to say second week of June, but because this is for 6 to 9 months, I'm not putting time pressure on myself to get these done in the next like couple of weeks. Yeah, very cute. I haven't done any. I haven't like veered away from the pattern at all. I really don't have much to say about these patterns other than I'm knitting them. I don't think I did a gauge swatch for this either. I just winged it. But to be honest, if they're a little bit off, that's not gonna matter. Babies grow. So because I'm doing 6 to 9 months, if the baby's in it sooner than 6 months, not a big deal. But yeah, they're very, very cute. Little baby girl, hence the kind of pinky color. Yeah. So these are kind of my second priority in terms of patterns or whips, sorry, that I'm knitting at the minute. Just because of baby coming, but yeah, not crazy big priority. I just can't wait until I get to the part where I add in all the ruffles. That'll be so cute. My next whip, what even is it? This is how much of this I have done. You can't see a single bit. There's a little hole here and a little crossover up here. You can even see it. The yarn is so dark and my fingers are in the way. This will be the Carrie sweater by Colibri by Joanna. So I am knitting this in the size extra small and I'm knitting it on 3.5mm needles. I think it recommends 4mm needles, but yeah, I had to size down to make gauge. I remember doing the gauge swatch on the 4mm needles. It was so gappy. Like you would have seen whatever you're wearing underneath this, you would have seen it like through like your bra, your top, whatever you're wearing underneath. It would be so obvious. So yeah, I had to size down to 3.5mm needles, which is two sizes down. It looks tiny, but it's supposed to be very form fitting. Let me try and hold it up again a little bit. Let me take this off a little bit. Yeah, no, I think it'll be fine. I have met gauge pretty much, I think. And my bust circumference, once it's finished, will give me 9 centimeters of negative ease, and this pattern is designed for a negative ease of 0 to 10 centimeters. But I do want more negative ease because I want this to be like a long sleeve t-shirt rather than a baggy jumper. And to be honest, whenever I was going through some of the patterns in Ravelry, I just wasn't a huge fan of the baggier ones. I much preferred the tighter ones. So hopefully this is okay. I am knitting this in Cardiff Cashmere Classic. Oh, my favorite. And this is the color UVA, which I think is another language for like eggplant. So it's a lovely purple. I'm actually very unsure. After I bought the yarn, I kind of thought it would be warmer, like leaning a little bit more towards pink or red than this purple. Like this is like Halloween purple to me, or like goth purple to me a little bit, which I don't know if I'm a massive fan of, but I do need more color in my wardrobe. I knitting too much black, grey, navy. So I do need to push the boat out a little bit. I did really like the thought of doing this in a very light blue. I think there was a shade called like Artico or something like that in Cardiff Cashmere Classic, which was a very lovely light blue that I thought was gorgeous. But then I imagined like how much you'll be able to see like your bra underneath it or whatever top you're wearing. So I was like, no, you need to go for a darker color if you don't want to see that. So that is why I've picked this color, this purple color. Um, Another thing to say about this yarn that I'm a little bit raging about. Um, so I ordered it. I ordered 8 balls, which should be enough, and half of them are a different dye lot. And it was so obvious to me that whenever I opened the box that they came in, I could see by eye without even looking at the labels that half of them were a different shade. So I am a little bit raging. Um, you probably won't be able to see on camera, and because of the window and stuff, you really no, the window is totally fucking with the light here. But I can see by eye the difference. So yeah, it is annoying, but it is what it is. Um, I was like, oh, I'll just have to do that thing where you like knit using 2 balls, where you like are swapping between the balls all the time. But because of this pattern, I don't know how to do that. So I'm thinking I might just knit the back panel and like I don't know, the bottom half of the sleeves or something in the other dye lot. Yeah, I don't know what to do. But yeah, the reason why it is so, pardon me, I dropped the mic. The reason I'm thinking it's going to be so difficult is because I feel like for the front panel for the whole time, I haven't read the whole pattern. I never do. But so far, you're knitting off 2 different balls of yarn. The reason being that you're knitting the left side and the right side of the front panel separately, but you're like on the same row. So like I'll knit across with 1 ball here. There's a gap here. And then I'll knit across with another ball here. And then I'll turn, I'll purl back. And then whenever I do the cable crossovers, then I think the balls will cross over as well. I don't know. I've only done the very first crossover at the very top, so I'm yet to see. But again, yeah, I cast this on just so I could have something to knit because I didn't have much knitting going on just then whenever I bought this, and now I'm like, this is going to have to sit for ages because I have too much other things to knit. Um, but yeah, Cardiff Cashmere Classic. The only thing I've ever knit with that before was my penny gloves by Petite Knit. So I'm really excited to have a soft, cozy jumper in that yarn. But yeah, literally like knit on this for like 2 seconds. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say actually, if anybody's knitting this, I was talking about this before, but I've definitely mentioned this pattern before, and I remember like just looking at the pictures and being like, oh, it's rated as like extremely advanced or something. I don't think it's extremely advanced. From what I've seen so far, I would still agree it's not extremely advanced. Not the best written pattern. Oh, like that would devastate me if I was the person who wrote that pattern and somebody said it about mine. So I don't want to like cause any upset. I'm not saying it to be controversial or anything, but I really struggled with understanding what the explanation of the edge stitches meant. And the very first thing you do as well, you cast on, and then it's like how do they word it? Hold on, I'm just going to read it. Cast on whatever amount of stitches. In the next wrong side row, purl all stitches except the edge stitches. But then, so I would be like this. Okay, so row 1 is a wrong side row, but then you look further down the pattern and it says row 5 is a right side row, which doesn't make sense because row 1 would have to be an even row or a right side row as well. Sorry. Yeah, it really confused me. So what I ended up doing, which I think should be fine because I replicated it on, I said like you knit the left side and the right side of the front panel separately. As long as I replicate it on the other one, it should be fine. So I did that. Fingers crossed, it's okay once I go to seam it all together. So what I had done was row 1 I knit, row 2 I can't even remember what I did. That's how complicated this pattern actually is. Not because it's a complicated pattern, but because it's not written well. Row 2 I purled all of it. Can't even remember what I did with the edge stitches because I've put it out of my mind now because I know what I'm doing with the edge stitches for the part that I'm on now, so I can't even remember. But so I did that. I did a knit row and then a row 2, a purl row, and then it says work 4 rows in stockinette stitch. So then I did 4 more rows on top of the first 2 that I'd done, and then I went into the first one that is like written out like row whatever, do this, which is row 5. So I technically actually knit 6 rows by that point. I was going into my 7th, but I didn't count the first 2 rows. So I hope it works out okay, but yeah, I thought it was really crazily written. And also another thing that I was noticing, that it was saying like row 12 K in stockinette stitch. Row 12 is a wrong side row. Purl. Don't say K in stockinette stitch, just say purl all stitches. And I would prefer if they just did, okay, row 1 knit, but the first stitch is slipped, or whatever it is. Whatever they wanted me to do with those edge stitches would have made way more sense if they just wrote it there. There is a chart on down, but again, just because of what I had done with because you knit some rows before you go into the 4 rows they tell you about. I didn't pay attention to the chart at the very start. I only started paying attention to the chart once I had done the cable cross. Complicated pattern. I think I might need lifelines later on for this, but yeah, I think I've kind of got it down so far. Hopefully I've made enough notes because I'm probably not going to knit it for a little bit, so that next time I go to pick it up I'll understand what I need to do with the edge stitches and everything. So yeah, fingers crossed it makes sense to me later down the line. But yeah, just if anybody's watching, thinking of doing the Carrie sweater, there is a video actually. There is a video that is linked in the pattern. I didn't click it. That could have saved me a lot of hassle, but I don't want to have to watch a video if I've paid for a pattern. Like it should be a nice extra to have if you're like really stuck, but I want to just read the pattern, have it on my iPad, and be able to knit it while I'm watching something else on TV. Anyway, I'm sure I'll love it whenever I do finish it, but yeah, not the easiest. I did have to frog the 2 pieces. I had to join them together and everything, and I did have to frog them and restart it once. So hopefully that's the only time I have to frog that pattern. I've jinxed it now. Touch wood. Okay. My next whip, not a very exciting one, so I won't talk about it for too long. It's a little freehand pair of socks. I didn't expect the yarn to like stripe up the way it is. I thought it was going to be a lot more like all over the show and crazy, but yeah, literally just a freehand pair of socks, 64 stitches. I did, I think, normal ribbing. I don't think I did twisted rib. Looks like normal ribbing to me. I didn't make any notes, so gonna have to guess whenever I come to do the second one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's normal rib, and then just knitting in stockinette. Just because I had this yarn and I wanted to use it for a pair of socks, and I always need a pair of socks, easy socks that I can knit without looking at a pattern. So I can just knit them on the bus on the way into work and knit them at lunch and not have to like read a pattern. So the yarn for these is Symphony Yarns Terra, and the colorway is Lagoon Dream, and I am knitting these on a 2.25mm little shorty needle, and that is all I'm going to say about that. This is not an exciting thing, this is just something to pass the time when I'm on the bus. Last whip. Okay, this is one I'm excited to talk about. So far, it is just a gauge swatch. So I have been selected to test knit a jumper. I have wanted to do like be a test knitter for ages and I never ever get picked. And this one here, I just like randomly applied to it, like not thinking I would get it. Obviously, I have a lot on my plate. Had ordered so much yarn. I think I added up and I've spent something like £300 on yarn in the last like month and a half maybe, um, which is insane. And I am absolutely going in on a yarn buying ban after this, hopefully for the rest of the summer. um I have enough to do me for the summer. So yeah, I fully did not expect to get picked for this, and I did get picked for this. So it's actually a little bit stressful because obviously I have a lot of other things going on, but this is now the priority. So the pattern that I have been selected to test for is the Maisie sweater, and it's by M Knits on Instagram, or Emily Chen. I'm not sure what she is on Ravelry. But yeah, I'll put the pattern. Oh wait, I can't put the pattern details because it's a test. I'll put her Instagram details down below. So this it calls for a sport weight yarn or two yarns held together to make a sport weight. So I'm hoping that I have picked something that is sport weight. It is meeting gauge just about. I obviously haven't blocked it yet. I'm still working through it. So hopefully this yarn is okay, but the yarns that I'm using for this is Knitting for Olive merino and Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair, both in the color cream. So I've got 6 balls of this. It's just less than 1400 meters, I want to say, or yards. I can't remember. What's 250 times 6? Hey Google, what's 250 times 6?
250 by 6 is 1500.
Just less than 1500 meters of yarn required for the size that I'm testing, and I'm testing size 2. So 6 balls of this, 7 of the mohair. So that should be enough, fingers crossed. So yeah, this is an all over cable jumper that I'm testing. And it has between, I want to say 20 centimeters and 25 centimeters of positive ease. So I am doing the size 2, which is 20 centimeters of positive ease for me. And I have done, look at all these gauge swatches. I'm on to my 4th now. So the recommended needle was a 3.75 millimeter needle, but I'd said earlier in the video I always have to size down. And the pattern writer, is that what you call it? Emily, she had said that a lot of people do tend to have to size down whenever they're testing her patterns, so not to worry about it. So this is my first. There's 2 different gauge swatches that I need to do. One is a basket weave gauge swatch. It's very hard to see in this light. You can kind of see it if I hold it like this. Let me fold this over. You're basically like knitting 3 stitches and purling 3 stitches. So this is on 3.75 millimeter needles, too big. Then I did one in 3.5 millimeter needles, still ever so slightly too big, but smaller than the other one. And then I started doing the cable swatch in also 3.5 millimeter needles and measured it across. I only got to like 20 rows or something. I don't know how many I actually have to do, how many rows I need to do, but I've stopped it at 20 rows because it's also too big and I haven't blocked it, so the cables are going to relax. So I cast it on again, and I think this one will work. And this is on a 3.25 millimeter needle. So yeah, it looks pretty. It's like quite thin, this yarn, actually, like on those little stockinette sections. It's all purl bumps on this side, and then the other side it's like knit stitches. But yeah, it does look a little bit thin there, but the cables are popping out. So obviously I do need to do another basket weave stitch gauge swatch in 3.25 millimeter needles, but hopefully that will be the end of my gauge swatches, and then I can actually start knitting the jumper. So yeah, something I'm really excited about. I've never done a test knit and I've always wanted to do one to see just how they go, just for like future reference. If I want to release this cardigan, I'm going to need to get a test knit, so I need to see what goes into test knitting. So yeah, I'm buzzing. And then as if I finish it obviously, then I get to be part of her lookbook, potentially, you know, have my photos shared on Ravelry or Instagram or whatever, as well as on her website. And I also get rewarded by being able to pick a pattern of hers. And she has this gorgeous one that I'm thinking of buying. Not 100% settled on it. I might pick something else. But it's called the Regina Pullover, and it's inspired by Regina George and that like off the shoulder sweater thing she wears in Mean Girls. Ah, so chic. I want it. I think I want that one. I locked my husband out. Whoops. The test knit is running from now until I think the 9th of August. So I'm under a bit of a time crunch. And yeah, this gauge swatch has taken me like all day just to do this. So I am a little bit worried. Um I was talking about the Moby sweater earlier. The cable chart for this is insane. Like the amount of twisted stitches and like cable crossovers where you're taking one stitch, knitting two, and then purling the stitch on the cable needle. And I don't know. There's a lot going on, and I've never seen a cable chart like that before. So that's why I'm saying that the Moby sweater, I don't feel it's actually as impressive as I used to think it was. Um, just when you see the amount of work that goes into something like this compared to a big thick cable and a mock cable, you know, it really is a really big difference. Not to shit on any any cable sweaters like that, but yeah, I have a newfound appreciation for these tiny little intricate cables because this is insane. But anyway, yeah, hopefully I will be able to report back on that a little bit more. There is like deadlines for I need to have my gauge swatch done and blocked and all by a certain date, and I think I need to give her feedback on how it goes, or maybe take a photo or something to show that I've done it. I'm not sure. And then I need to do like the back and some of the front parts. As in, I'm assuming it's just a yoke. I actually haven't fully read the pattern yet. I need to do that for like 2 weeks after the deadline for this, so I feel like that is going to be a lot of time. So I need to get on it. But anyway, that was my last whip. So let's get on to a couple of acquisitions. So obviously, I have so much yarn for stuff that's already on the needles, but I also have more yarn for stuff that I haven't started knitting yet. So yeah, I don't need to buy any yarn at all. The first one I have, another knitting for Olive soft silk mohair. That's actually didn't even twig that I have two projects with this exact same yarn. Anyway, this one here is in the color Dusty Petroleum Blue. I think it's gorgeous. It's very moody. It's like a storm cloud or something. Like it makes me think of like thunder and lightning or something. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was between this and another one called like Thunder or Dusty Thunder or something. But oh, it's so moody and gorgeous. So I have 4 balls of that, and my plan for that is to cast on the Jelly Top by I want to say My Bruns. Let me consult my queue and find the pattern. My Bruns, or May, MEI, new word, BRUNS. So yeah, that is one of the plans that I have. I want to do this. I can't even remember what size I'm doing actually. But yeah, that is not something that's going to be able to be casted on this side of summer anyway. But yeah, I'm just glad I have the yarn sitting there. So if I ever do get a little cable, like a not a cable needle, just a knitting cable, if one of them comes free, I have yarn. I can use it. No cable shall rest in this house. There must be a project on every single cable. um. So yeah, that is one yarn, and then another little acquisition that I've got I thought let's do an unboxing. Sorry if this isn't ASMR. Let me just do this. I'm also going to try my best not to get my address in this. Just checking I have them all. So I have ordered some yarn. I have how many? One, two. There's two. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have ordered 4 balls of Lena, which is I think how you say it, by Sandnes Garn in the colour Acorn, and 2 balls of Tin Lena. And the reason, also an Acorn, the reason why I ordered these is because I want to knit the Knitlet by Simone Berg. I think this is so cute, especially with that. I want to say it's like whip stitch detail around the edge, which I didn't buy yarn for, but I'm sure I have yarn in my stash that if I want to do that later, I can. I love the fact that this is reversible and boat neck too. I just think that is so cute and it looks so good. That green one is gorgeous. So I am going to try and cast that on so that I can have it for this summer. But again, with all these whips I got going on, I don't know if that is possible. Maybe if I finish the baby dungarees, I'll be able to cast that on, because I don't think that'll take me a crazy amount of time. There's no sleeves on that, and there's a big bit missing in the front that I don't have to knit, so it might not be that crazy. But yeah, that's the plan for that yarn. I just hope I can knit it this time. What is this yarn even made out of? What? 100? No. 53% cotton. 33% viscose, 14% linen. That's so funny. I'm just looking at this. I was reading it in whatever language that is, Norwegian or whatever. And it is 53% Bomul, 33% viscose, 14% linen. And I have another yarn called Bomul Lin. Now I know why, because it's cotton and linen. Yeah, so hopefully I have enough yarn for that. What size am I knitting? I think I was going for the size small in this one. Yes, it was the size small I was aiming for, which is a bust circumference of 69 centimeters, which is, I think, 16 centimeters of positive ease. Negative ease, I mean, sorry. 16 centimeters of negative ease. 16 centimeters of negative ease. And the pattern calls for 12. So it will be very tight fitting, but fingers crossed that's okay. Yeah, they did say to size down if you're between sizes, so hopefully it'll look all right. But anyway, not casting it on just yet. I've got time to think about what size I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's the end of all my finished objects, whips, and acquisitions. The only other thing, I wanted to catch you guys up on something. So I was on TikTok the other day and I saw this thing called Craft and Last. And it is basically like if you are not a knitter but you want to order like a piece of like a hand knit garment, you can go on this website. It's craftandlast.com, and this is not sponsored, by the way. This is self-promotion because I am a knitter on it. You can go on to craftandlast.com. They have patterns, like they have Paula Strict is on it. Midsummer Knits is another one. So you can go on, select their patterns, be like, oh, I want to have this as a garment for myself or for whoever else. And then you can pick if you want like a luxury yarn, a mid yarn, or a like budget yarn. And then you can like pick what colors and stuff, and you pick your maker. So I am on there as a maker. Yeah, I just thought it was something really cool. And then every maker has like their own price set for how much they charge per garment at the minute. So like sweaters is like a base rate of like, I don't know off the top of my head what mine is, maybe £150 plus then the price of the yarn on top of that. But yeah, I just thought that was such a cool thing. Like I've had family members pay me to knit for them before. Obviously there is a market for it. Not everybody wants to learn to knit. Crazy, I know. I can't imagine that. But yeah, just if anybody's interested in like signing up as a maker, I would recommend it. Not that I've had any orders yet, thank God, because I'm too busy right now for orders. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool thing, and it's sort of being marketed at the minute as like a, oh, fast fashion, awful. You want like cool summer tops that are going to last you for like years, or like heritage pieces that you can like pass down to your children, things like that. Um, yeah, it just caught my eye. I thought, why not? Let me try and make some money from knitting here. But anyway, I thought that was an exciting little piece of news to share. I could potentially get paid to knit. Love it. Love that idea. Anyway, yeah, that was the end of the video. That was everything I had to talk about today. I think I've been filming this for over an hour, so this could be a super long video. Apologies if it is. But yeah, hopefully I will catch up with you next time. Hopefully I'll have a couple more finished objects. At least one, at least those dungarees I want to finish. And maybe hopefully a little bit more progress made on my test knit and maybe the movie sweater. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, thank you for watching. If you liked it, like the video, subscribe. Hopefully I'll have another video up soon. And if you want to catch me anywhere else, my username on TikTok and Ravelry is Riggernits. No, Instagram and Ravelry is Riggernits, the same as my channel, and TikTok it is Claire Joy with an underdash, but the links are in the bio below, so hopefully catch you there as well. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.